Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
He's alive!
Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, well, now you do. Today's episode is number 55, and it is called A Lone Witch. It features a woman who goes by the name Angel. She says she doesn't need a covenant, nothing. She does spells and shit all on her lonesome. It is said to be dangerous and not really a good thing, but she is love and light, and that's what she projects. Only healing and white light, white magic, so to speak. So that's what she does, and she also has quite a bit of paranormal experiences. Living in a haunted house almost seems like a haunted house after haunted house after haunted house. She experienced a lot of shit in Pennsylvania, which just so happens that I was just at Squonkapalooza in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. So, just to close up on her, she was physically abused by entities. Like, she had bruises and shit. So that's interesting. She's gonna have to come on. She has more stories, so she's gonna have to come on a second time. So there will be a part two, most likely. Just so you know. But anyway, Squonkapalooza. Oh, and go follow her. I'm sure she reposts it and everything. So I believe it's Angel Heinman, Hinman, if she wanted that out there. Yeah, she's a good person, very friendly. I really enjoyed talking to her. So I hope you all enjoy this episode. But Squonkapalooza was fun. Met a lot of people. Cryptid of the Corn. I've already met them back in the spring, so it was good to reconnect. I met Ron Murphy. He that guy is a wealth of knowledge. Like, that guy can talk, and he is very interesting to talk to. So I enjoyed it. Heather Moser was another one. I didn't really know much about her until I went to Squonkapalooza, so that was pretty fucking cool to get to know her a little bit more, because I was already following her on Instagram. But now that I know more of her, what she does, I'm impressed. Met the ladies over at Stir the Pot podcast. So if you are in need of a new podcast to listen to, that is a good podcast to check out. I checked it out and I enjoyed it. So, and then I met Jessica, Cryptid Bits with General Tidbits. She has a YouTube show. That's the name of it. Yeah, Cryptid Bits with General Tidbits. That's her show. It's like 40 minutes to an hour, I believe. So very digestible. Talks about cryptids and shit with a guest and all that stuff. So it's pretty interesting. She's from Massachusetts, so she's got that accent, which I always have fun with, because a lot of people from Maine have and tend to have a similar accent as Bostonians. It's your cousin from Boston. And I probably didn't really sound like a Massachusettsian, but anyways, she was lovely. Um, I and David Hardy, he does Hardyware. If you want like cryptid like t-shirts and shit, go check that shit out. He does his own artwork, makes his own shirts, and dude, it's phenomenal. I bought a t-shirt. And he's gonna be on the show at some point too, so that's pretty cool. And then last but not least, Shane from Bizarre Encounters and Inquiries of Our Reality. Hung out with him majority of the day. Watched his table so he could go out and do his thing, and hung out with his kids, his girlfriend Gabby. They were all amazing, lovely, lovely family. It was a lot of fun to hang out with them. And then later on in the night, I got to meet Lavender, who was episode 49. She is the host over at Early on Wednesday podcast. It's a true crime. I think she's starting to get more. She wants to do like more creepy, like paranormal like stories. So we'll see if she's if she does. So she just recently restarted her podcast back up. So I'm interested. She was a lot of fun. She was a lot of fun to hang out with. I like her a lot. I like her a lot. Anyways, so that is all I have to cover. If you enjoy the show, please like, share, follow, subscribe, rate the show, leave a review, whatever you would like to do. You can follow me on Facebook, where the weird ones are, as well as Instagram. That's where _ the weird ones are. Email me if you have any creepy ass stories you would like to tell and talk about, conversate over, maybe conspiracies. I'm down with that shit. Yeah, that is where the weird ones are at gmail.com. Also, if you're interested in merch, etsy.com/shop/where the weird ones are. And Emily Leto, the fine art medium, does my artwork. So please go check her shit out. Her ad will be in the show as well as the show description. That is thefineartmedium.com. So don't wait. Check her out now. She does readings too because she is a medium. And I think that's all. I think that's all, folks. I think that's all for today. So have a good day, have a good night, whatever time you decide to listen or watch this shit. And as always, my friends, stay weird.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird. Get weird.
www.deeperdown.store. That's where you want to go if you want a hoodie like this. I don't know if you can see it that well. Hold on, I'll show you. If you're just listening to the audio, it's down the rabbit hole. So, if you're watching the video, I'm going to show you what it looks like. So this is my hoodie. I got it from David, who is _ down the dot rabbit hole __. He has a merch store, so go please fucking check that out. He's got a whole bunch of cool shit, cool designs. So if you need a hoodie, you need any kind of threads, please go check it out. He's a good friend of the show, and he's co-hosting over at One Nothing podcast for a couple episodes, so go check those episodes out. And please show him some love and some support. He's got a lot of cool shit in his store, so go check that shit out. Also, if you do decide that you want something from his shop, you can use my code Kevin's Weird 18. You get 18% off of your purchase. So however much shit that you want to get, the better it is for you to get more than just one thing with the coupon. So please go show him some love, show him some support. He's doing amazing shit. If you're not following him on Instagram, you probably should. So do that. All right, everybody. That's www.deeperdown.store. So today I have a good friend of David down the rabbit hole. Her name is Angel. She so she has an interesting lineage, which we will get into. But I hope you all lend me and her your ears and listen to the fun things that will discuss tonight. And yeah, so I'll just have her introduce herself, and we will go from there. So, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for giving me some of your time tonight and actually and coming on and talking with me because like I tell a lot of people that I mean the show wouldn't be a show if I didn't have people like you to talk to. So I am extremely grateful and appreciative that you've given me some of your time tonight.
I appreciate it.
All right. So why don't you tell everybody who you are and a little bit of backstory for you.
Well, as Kevin said, I'm Angel. I'm just another somebody in this great big world. My mom used to tell me stories when I was little, and I have a lineage that goes back a good 9 generations from me, my mom, my sisters, my aunt, that we would have all been sensitives. But as far as I know, I am the only practicing pagan.
Okay. All right. So I've had I don't know if you know Christina Witchy Paranormal or Heal with Christina. So she talks about being pagan too. So just off the top of your head, what does it mean to be a practicing pagan?
Being one with just about everything. Everything has a place, a life cycle, even oh goddess, I could get into so many different branches of this. Not being judgmental, because I have found with different religions, I've been quite a few, from non-denominational Christian to trying Catholic to even vampirism, and they all seem to be closed off in different ways. But I find paganism to be more open and honest with the way that they practice, welcoming, just open arm to everybody, the gods, the goddesses. And there's not just one set gods and goddesses. There's Roman, Egyptian. I mean, you can just bounce around here, there, and everywhere.
So do you mind telling the story that your mother told you from long ago that basically kicked everything off for you?
Okay, well, first off, I'm 50 years old, And this is from when I was an infant and I had trouble sleeping. She always wondered where she heard a man in my room, and I would quiet down and go to sleep. Well, one night she had gotten up to see at sunset, there was a white dot on the wall, and it would go clockwise and it would evolve into a man. And it didn't sound like a white man. It sounded like, for lack of better terminology, a slave man. And he would sing me to sleep all night long. And then she would like keep vigilance over me, because of course, what mother wouldn't they be worried? But with her dealing with spirits all her life too, it didn't really over worry her. But it would go counterclockwise when the sun would come up and just disappear. And then the other story she would tell me, now this one scared her. And for the life of me, I never could figure out why. About 3 to 4 minutes before the phone would ring, I would tell her, Mommy, the phone's going to ring. And I would tell her who it is and what they would want. And the phone would ring, and it would be who it was and what they would want.
Oh, wow. So you do you still have that like intuition about you now?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Nice.
And it kind of creeps me out at times, because there are points where it will run me 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and then it stops. With me, most people are very good at honing their crafts to where they can control it. I never tried to. It just comes and goes as it pleases.
Okay. All right. So it's just like it's random things. You'll just be like, well, this is gonna happen, and then it happens, but then you'll go an expanded amount of time where nothing like that occurs, right? Is that
Exactly.
okay?
And then it starts up again. It can come in prophetic dreams. It can come just, I'll think about somebody, and 2 days later, I'll hear from them.
Interesting. And that's been apparently your entire life.
It has.
Okay. All right. And now when you say that you come from like 9 generations of practicing witch, how far, if you're 50, how far would the 9 generations be? That'd be like 1600s, right?
Something like that. I don't know my full past. Nobody will tell me. My mom passed away in 1997, so I wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, your mom experienced some paranormal well, obviously the stories that she told you, but did she ever tell you things that happened to her before you came into the picture?
There was this one where, when my mom and dad were dating, he said, I don't believe in ghosts. The vacuum cleaner came out of the closet and ran across the living room without being plugged in.
Wow.
He never said that again.
Is your dad still around?
No, my father died 9 years ago, but
Oh,
I
okay.
still get visits from him. I still see him every now and again. My mom, I get more visits from, but I still see him every now and again.
Okay. Well, that's comforting then, right? Like,
Yeah, it is, but it's not. But yeah,
well, I mean, yeah, I
that
mean,
made him believe. That
yeah.
did make him believe. And she had a ghost. I don't know where he originated from, and he was an attachment, but his name was Bart. And I remember her best friend that lived next door. She had a Catholic mother,
Mhm.
and she come yelling, and she had motorcycle grease up and down her legs, just like in horizontal stripes. And she goes, April, keep your damn ghost at home. And I'm like, Grandma O'Keefe, you're bad.
That's funny. So,
Right.
did you guys ever experience anything? Well, so I'll ask, in your lifetime, have you ever experienced anything of like negative, possibly demonic, or in any kind of way?
Yes. Okay. You know how I told you I lived in Pennsylvania for 15 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let me do a little back history on this house. The house we bought, when we bought it, the realtor said, now, to Pennsylvania law, I have to tell you, this house had a suicide in it. Can you live here? Yeah, I can live here, no problem. And what had happened was, now I don't know how this is physically possible, but this is the story I was told. The guy who lived there, his name was Jameson Lindsay, and he had a 4-year-old daughter with his wife. And I don't know what happened between them, but she had a boyfriend, which is whatever, that's their business. And she took the daughter, and apparently he was in the downstairs bathroom, and he cut himself from shoulder to wrist on both arms.
Holy
and
shit.
bled out in the bathtub. And what was really jacked up about that situation, I'm like, well, that's really freaking creepy. But okay, yeah, whatever. And when we first moved in there, when you stood from the backyard, we took a picture where that bathroom was. You could see somebody standing in that bathroom looking down. And
Wow.
he was good with people living in that house as long as the house was taken care of, which I'm an obsessive cleaner. So he was fine with that. The problem I had with the house was this. In the back, there was a creek bed. And everybody knows with the paranormal, they run with water.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we stayed there, the more the activity seemed to be. Now, the neighborhood was quite old because the houses were built in 65.
Mm.
And now I never slept walk in my life. So I started sleepwalking. And I started having more medical ailments living in that house. I remember very clearly, we had a roommate at that time, and there was a bad thunderstorm, really bad, and playing solitaire. And I'm like, no, you don't want to lay that card down. You will lay this card down. And somebody smacked me ferociously in the back of the head.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, well, I guess I shouldn't have said anything. And I was like, okay, no big deal. And then at the time, I'm a mom of 5. I have 5 boys. And the younger 4, this was way before the 5th one, but the younger 4 were upstairs, and you could fit 2 bunk beds up there, no problem. They were being so loud. And this was actually the same night, now that I think about it. And I went up there like the 5th time up the stairs, and I was like, would you shut the hell up and go to sleep? Kevin, I kid you not. I turned around to face the stairs. This is like, I'm facing the stairs here. I felt 2 hands on the top of my thighs, and it was a little child. I want to say a little boy. Says, why don't you shut the hell up, and pushed me down the stairs.
Wow.
And I went flying down the stairs, and that hurt so bad. And that wasn't that was not the first time I fell down the stairs, that house. I was pushed down the stairs many times. I was bit, I was slapped, My hair was constantly pulled. I had bruises from my hips to my feet in that house.
Oh my goodness.
So me and my friend Kaz, we decided we're going to do some EVP work.
Hmm.
So we went down to the basement. Now there was civil wars, as you know, the bloodiest 3 days of the Civil War.
Yeah.
And we lived 45 minutes east of Gettysburg. So we went down there, and Kaz is just Kaz. He's Kaz. And he goes, "Come on, Angel, these fags don't want to talk." And I kid you not, this one guy, Gabe, he goes, "Hey, I'm not a fag." Clear as day.
Wow.
It was such a class A. And then we got, and I'm the only female in the house. We got She Dies and Her in Body Bag.
Hold on a second. Can you not do that right here while I'm recording? I appreciate it. I can hear you right through my microphone. Sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead, continue. I'll have to edit
And
that
then-
out.
And then there was two others down there that says She Dies and Her in Body Bag.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck was that? So I mean, that scared me. I was like, I'm not going to that basement no more. Nope. Not going. And
I
then
don't
one day
blame you one bit.
I made everybody else do laundry. I was not going down there. No, not at all. And then I had to go down there and do laundry. Now, this was one of the sweetest spirits we ever had. And he was a Southern boy. And I went to go down there, and I turned and I went in the laundry room. When you go down the stairs and you made a right, you were in the laundry area. And he comes out between the two pillars and he goes, "Boo." And I dropped the laundry. And he goes, I said, "Damn it, Blue." And he goes, "I'm sorry, ma'am." And he just like vanished off. That was the last time I ever saw Blue. He was a big old black slave rig boy. But I mean, he was sweet as pie. He never bothered me.
So when you say that when you describe these entities, you can see them physically?
Okay. When I say, this is how I had to describe it to my daughter-in-law. When I say I see them, I don't see them. I see them.
Got you. So, you see them through your mind's eye, through your
Right.
pineal gland, or however you say the word.
Right.
Pineal. There we go. Pineal gland.
There you go. And then we did go to Gettysburg.
Did you?
And yeah. That have you ever been out there?
I've driven through. I haven't been like to the battlefield itself, but I drove through, and we went to Arizona, and I wanted to stop off on the way through, and I just never did.
If you ever get the chance, go. It's amazing.
Okay.
Little Round Top, Devil's Den, and the Memorial Building. Those were my three favorite spots.
Okay. Did you investigate these spots? Like, were you a part of a team at all, or were you just doing your own thing?
We did our own thing, but the Memorial Building, I had an experience at.
Okay.
There is, when you're facing the Memorial Building, it's on the left. You can go up in that pillar, and there's a staircase. You can go up and look out. But I couldn't make it up because I was crying. The more I'm ascending, I'm crying more and more and more. I looked down, and there was a soldier in a puddle of blood in a gray uniform on the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then to way backtrack, when I was like 8 years old, I went in my room, and I will never forget it. Oh, you asked me before the 15-year house, there was this attachment I had when I went to Ohio. But I walked into my room and I closed my door. So it couldn't have been my door. And I don't know what it was. But like this gust of wind came in my room and it blew up my canopy. I had, for some reason, pink and white canopy. Thank my mom for that one. And and the ruffles and everything. And I saw my great grandmother laying on my bed dead. And as fast as I saw her there, she disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Now, a couple months before that, we were in Ohio visiting her. And I looked in her room, and there was this man. I don't know if this is going to make sense at all. There was this man screaming, but not making noise with this white hair. And forever, he was attached to me. And then he was gone about 10 years later.
So, while he was attached, what kind of things were you experiencing from him?
It was just, it was a like this constant fear of doom happening to me, that something was gonna bad, like very, very bad gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
And things in my room would move. But other than that, not too much.
Okay. So he just instilled like a sense of dread,
Of
basically.
constant dread. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you never did you was this another like you saw him in your mind's eye or
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
All right. So have you ever literally seen anything like physical in front of you, like a physical apparition or anything like that?
Um, there was my great grandmother. I see in this house now. When we first moved in this house 5 years ago, the first day there was children laughing
Yeah.
all over the place. I have a problem with children spirits. They tend to be demonic to me.
Yeah, I feel like child spirits are extra creepy. Mainly
Yes.
mainly because I feel like a child spirit would like an actual human child spirit would move on as fast as it could because like I mean if you go like down like theory roads or whatever on paranormal and all that like um we always come back. We come back as something else. Um Reincarnation, that's the word that I was looking for. So like we reincarnate periodically through time and different timelines. Maybe we come back to this one as something else, someone else. And from stories I've heard, um the only time a child is sticks around after death is because it's being held.
Exactly. Like a little puppet.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not big on children's spirits at all.
yeah, they creep me out more. I feel like hauntings with child laughter, like randomly, like just a child giggling in the corner or something, and you're like, what the fuck? Like I feel
Right,
like that's
right.
10 times
I'd rather be in
scarier
a
than a voice.
cemetery like, oh, what is that one cemetery where those cops were ran out in that cemetery because of the chapel? It said get out or something like that. No, the caretaker. And he took the hell off. And he's like, nope, 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 fuck that.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd rather that happen than a child.
Yes. Yes. Same. There's a um there's a cemetery right down the street from me that I went into when I was a kid, and I mean we didn't well first so we heard like a noise like it was just like boom, 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 like because the part of the graveyard is on a hill, and it just sounded like a freaking rock just or somebody just stomping their feet coming down the hill as fast as they could. It was because it was just like and we're just like what the fuck, and we're shining our flashlights And it was me, my high school girlfriend, and a buddy of mine, and then just like, so that was the only thing that I could attribute to like being paranormal. But we ended up, I want to say it was a cult that was in the cemetery.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was like people that like went to the cemetery on purpose, and like, because I
Right.
mean it was always said when we were kids, that's the whole reason why we were there. It was because there was lights always in the woods behind the cemetery, so everybody's like, there's a cult back there, blah 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 blah. But I think it was just like a bunch of goth kids, to be honest. um but yeah, they started coming out from behind the tall tombstones, like staring at us like that, and we thought they were ghosts at first, and it scared us, and then we realized they were people.
God. Well, that's like Spring Hill Cemetery. Supposedly it's the KKK, and there's um a meat grinding room some like outside the cemetery down in the woods.
Really?
Yes. You didn't know
That
that?
is, no, that's fucking weird.
Yes. So, okay, let me give you a quick history on that. If you go to Spring Hill Cemetery,
Uh-huh.
I think that's called Spring Hill Cemetery, and when you park there, it's you go like around to the far side
Uh,
and you explore out, and there's like this, I can't think what it's called, but there's like a, I want to say almost like a shed, and it has a meat grinder in there still, and there's still like pieces of, I don't know what, but the folklore is that it's where they ground up slaves, and the spirits are still around there.
oh my god. You know, they did
Yes.
some fucking weird fucked up shit to the slaves back then. Like, I
Well,
I'm
there's
like,
supposed to be a hanging tree, and at dusk, you can, if the when the light shines right, you can see the hanging man.
oh my god. Oh my
And where
god.
the bodies, where they hang the people, wherever their bodies lay, that's where they buried them.
That's ridiculous. You know, I hear stories of people these days doing like weird fucked up shit to people, but when I hear stories from back then, like
It's, I think
not
it's scary,
yeah,
honestly.
not only slaves but to each other. You know what I mean?
Right?
So like, I just like the human condition in itself is weird and bizarre. And I feel like sometimes a damned soul comes through. Actually, I feel like more than sometimes, and I feel like I feel like that's how we end up with serial killers, is because we have technically a soul um jumping ship trying to get into this realm to experience life and be able to wreak havoc or and whatnot. And that's why it doesn't start usually when they're a kid, because like when we are reincarnated, we don't remember our past life. We don't realize that we were something else before. So I feel like that's kind of maybe something to
No,
that,
I get,
because they say that you know, you're like like Jeffrey Dahmer, just for like a um example, uh the way he was raised is what made
right.
him into, but I don't think the way necessarily that you're raised can turn you into anything. Like, there's serial killers out there that had a pretty normal life. So
Well, everybody makes their own decisions, you know?
that too. So I believe that, I mean, I believe that there's evil entities that are constantly whispering in our ears. But I mean, that's like you get the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. I
Exactly.
feel like there's good entities and there's bad entities, and they're both trying to sway you one way or the other constantly.
But you know, we were saying about the children thing. So the other night, I was having a really hard time sleeping, and about 2 or 3 in the morning, I hear this little girl humming to me.
My God.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, and this is the way, exactly the way I pictured her. Think of, and I can't think of the movie I got it from. A little girl sitting there playing with her dolls, but she's sadistically humming this song, like singing. And that's what I heard. And I know I woke up and I still heard her singing. And I looked behind me and there was nobody there. And I'm like, I think I'm going to get up now. I could not go back to sleep after that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to either.
No, but I see it. Okay, let me ask you, have you ever heard of the Hat Man?
Yes, I have. I've never
Can
seen
you
one, but
kind of
I've heard.
explain this to me?
What's
I'll
that?
tell you why in a second.
You want me to explain it to you?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically just a shadow figure with a hat.
Okay, this is why I'm asking, because I've never encountered this spirit ever. We move into here, and my one kid goes to work, hubby goes to work, my other kid goes to school. I'm in the kitchen. All of a sudden, this spirit comes up on me, and all I see is this big, tall man with a hat, and he's like so pressed up against me, there's like no space between us. And he did this for a year or two, and then I didn't feel him for a while, and then he did it again, and now he's back again.
Right now, he's back.
Well, when I'm in the kitchen, yeah, that's
Well,
the
yeah,
only
that's what I mean.
occupies. But yes, he's back again. And now that we're moving, it's crazy. I never thought it was true because we've moved quite a bit. But now that we're moving, more stuff is happening. Water bottles are being thrown. Nova. Water bottles are being thrown. Forks are being thrown. Anything and everything that can possibly be thrown are being thrown. That's enough, Nova. Now, my mom had this amazing gift of telekinesis. At one time, she was working at Steak and Shake, and she was so tired. She's like, I really don't want to put the toothpicks in the toothpick holder. And she thought about it so hard, they actually levitated into the toothpick holder.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And like when me and my husband first got married, we've been married for almost 30 years. This October will be 30 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Not an easy road.
I believe you. I trust me. I know very well. Any relationship's gonna be work. Like, you just got to be willing to do that work, and you've been doing it for 30 years. So
yeah, 30 years, 5 kids, 2 grandkids.
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a hard one, but you get through it.
Mm-hmm.
So we were fighting in the middle of some grocery store. I don't know what it was. She got so mad, a tomato flew across produce and landed right in front of me. I'm like, okay, fine, I get it. And then we were arguing one night, and I don't know if it's just my family or whatnot, but we like to lay on the floor and watch TV,
Mm-hmm.
And we were arguing and arguing. She shut the TV off. This was after she died. Shut the TV off and closed the doors. And I'm like, okay, we need to stop. Mom's mad.
That's funny. Well, do you
Yeah.
recall what you were watching?
I have no clue. But it was in our first house we owned back in 2010.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, things like that. I love that woman and I miss her so much. But when she does that, I know she means business.
That's hilarious. So you're pagan. You practice I would assume light witchcraft.
Yes.
Okay. So what what exactly does that entail? Because I've had a few people talk about, that they are light workers, or they're a white witch, or they work with light magic, like white magic, so like the good energies. Um, but I feel like I don't ask, or maybe I forget to ask like exactly what that entails, like ritualistically. I don't know, maybe I have asked it and I just can't remember, but
Well, I don't. Most people work with covens.
uh-huh.
I don't. I work on my own.
Okay.
I don't play well with others. I very territorial, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Um, I do my own spell castings, and I can hear it already. Then she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. I do know what I'm doing. I just prefer to. I've always worked on my own. Actually, a little back history. After my mom died in '97, I felt lost, and I went into a really deep depression
Okay.
for 3 years. I don't remember those 3 years. And that's a scary thing to say.
Yes, I would agree.
I really don't. I don't remember those 3 years. So I thought, okay, self, what are you going to do with yourself? So I found the world of vampirism. That was a scarier world.
Yeah, when you mentioned that earlier, I was like, don't forget to ask her about that. So what was that experience like?
Um, it's still a part of me. It's still the darkness that I fight.
Uh-huh.
Um, to be taken into such a depth of darkness, I'd rather forget 3 years again. And I'm not saying anything against vampires. You know, I like my darkness because it keeps me, I guess, sane, if you want to say,
Yeah. I
because
get No, I was just
I'm
gonna
by
say I
myself
get that.
most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm by myself most of the time, anyways.
Yeah.
My husband's a trucker, so,
Yeah. So
but
he's by himself most of the time too.
he's been a trucker for 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, but when you go into a whole new realm of pain, and a lot of people think, oh, you're a blood drinker. No, there's quite a few subcategories of vampirism, and there's Psy Vampire, Sangria, which is blood drinker, and there's intentional energy feeder and unintentional energy feeder. So, I mean, it all depends where
That's
you're at.
so um obviously from movies, um I've always associated the blood drinking with vampirism, and in recent years I've realized, or this is my thought on vampirism, like it has nothing to do with blood. It's literally energy. You're stealing somebody else's energy. You're stealing somebody else's life force, essentially, um without killing them, or
Exactly.
and so the fact that you just said that, basically I'm just like, oh well, I guess, well, I don't have to ask that question or theorize on that anymore, because she just said it, because she's experienced it. So
Right. And I mean, if I do go back in that area again, it's with permission.
okay. What do
I
you
don't do anything without permission.
Okay. What do you mean when you go back into
Like energy work, I don't do like,
Oh,
I work with energy.
I got you.
Everything I do is energy.
I got you. I got you.
That's the way I was taught.
Mm-hmm. So do you do
Um,
like energy healing and stuff like that?
mhm.
Okay.
And the one thing that I was really taught, one rule that I was taught, is if you see like bad things or darkness happening, you can't tell that other person that even if it's a loved one, that something bad's going to happen to them. It's a rule you cannot cross
Okay.
because it puts a ripple in time.
And that's how you
And
get the spider webs with the timelines.
right, and it just it messes up everything.
Mm. I think that's where the Mandela effect comes into play. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
So it's just people trying to prevent or cause something to happen in their um, way because they see it intuitively or whatever, and that's not the course that the timeline was supposed to go. So, like you
And
said,
see,
it causes a ripple.
right, and my aunt Ludi, actually, I have a story for everything we talk about. My aunt Ludi, she predicted her own death,
Oh shit!
and yeah, I'm not kidding. And she did not stop it because of the Mandela effect. She told my mom, in 2 weeks' time, I will be hit by a bus and I will die. She got up that morning. She did everything she was supposed to do, her normal routine. She got hit by that bus and she died.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy to live with for your mother, because your mom was probably like, "Oh, she's crazy," and then it
Oh
happened, and then
no,
your mom,
she knew.
no.
My my mom and Aunt Ludi. My mom told me this story and it chilled me to the core. They went out drinking one night. They would drink themselves sober. That's how much they drank. And they were talking to this woman and they got on the paranormal, which is a normal subject for my family. That's like drinking water. Oh, you believe in ghosts? So do I. And this woman got so deep into what she was talking about. Her eyes glowed.
Wow.
I want to do that just to freak people out.
That would freak me out, just so you know. Um,
Right?
I'm of that percentage that gets freaked out.
That
Um,
would be that Bonnie Tyler video.
oh boy. Uh, I run from things. So,
How can you investigate if you run?
well, I don't investigate. So there's that.
Oh wait, you thought the goth people were ghosts.
Yes. Well, I mean, technically, I guess we were investigating technically, but like, I don't know. We were just like, I've heard crazy stories. Let's see what happens, kind of thing. Essentially,
Okay.
that's what that was, and I was like 15. Um, but most encounters, I'll either try to ignore or I will run. Like, my sister, I've told so people who listen to this podcast regularly will know this story. But my sister tells this story from when we were kids, so we were like 8, 9. Um, and she was walking out into the kitchen, and I was behind her. We were getting ready for school, and she just drops her backpack and starts screaming, turns around to run down the hall, and I just dropped all my stuff and started screaming and followed her back down to the hall. And my mom was like, "What the fuck?" And my sister's like, there was something black in the kitchen, like a black mass. It floated into the living room and it scared me, and I don't want to go out there, blah 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 blah. And then my mom's like, "Well, why were you screaming?" And I was like, "Because she screamed and ran, so I fucking screamed and ran." I don't know what was happening. I just knew it was scary, so I went with her.
Oh wow.
uh
Oh, but
hey, you having a hard time, or maybe you're having a good time, and you just need a psychic reading, or maybe you need something for graphic design, like you're starting a business, you're starting a podcast of some kind. Well, I implore you to visit www.thefineartmedium.com. There you'll find her portfolio, her blog, her readings, viewer interactions, and all that. She has her bachelor degree in sociology of social deviance, which she says is pretty much like criminology, just without the law. She received that degree from the University of Pennsylvania in 2015. First of all, I just want to say she is phenomenal. She's a good person, and I implore you to go check her out. For reading, you need something graphic design. You know, she's the one that's working on my comic book, so please go check her out. And if you need anything, please use her. Go through her. She's very easy to reach. You can find her on Instagram at the Fine Art Medium. Her name is Emily Leto. So please check her out if you need any of those such things. So, with that being said, have a good day.
Wow.
Uh,
Oh, but talking about past lives, I just remembered one about my brother. He would always talk about how we were not his real family. He belonged to the Cowboys and Indians, and the Indians killed his family and scalped his sister.
huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was
And
an
all my
Indian
children.
in a past life. I was a woman. I was a Native American woman, and I didn't do like apparently from past life regression that I recently did, that I wasn't stay in the teepee fucking kind of native woman. I was out with the fucking hunting bison and shit. I had a spear in my hand. So all I can like picture is me fucking as a Native American woman just riding around on a horse throwing fucking spears at people. Or well, not people, but animals trying to fucking hunt and shit. So
You were the girl from Prey.
from Prey?
Have you ever seen the movie Prey?
No.
Kevin, you're missing out.
How long ago? Well, I think I've heard of it. How long
It
ago
was
was this
last
movie?
year.
Was it? All right.
Yes, it was a
Well,
prequel to Predator.
yes. I wanted to see that. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about now. I wanted to see that, and then for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, and I didn't. So I will have now. You know what? I'll just write it down. Where's my fucking notebook? There we go.
Oh, stop. You too.
There, now I won't forget it because it's right there on my desk.
Yep.
So, have you ever done a healing spell that went like terribly wrong, like not in the way that you wanted it to go or anything, or has everything always worked out?
Um, no, actually, I've done pretty good with those.
Okay.
Um,
So what's the point
my
of coven? Like why is that, like
I
I mean,
think
why is
the
working
reason
alone like frowned upon?
I think a lot of reasons that people do it's like the power of three. Oh, God is forgive me on that one. I'm so not big on Charmed. Um, because the more you work with, it's the more power it gives you behind the spells, more intent.
Okay.
And I just prefer to be by myself. I think I think no matter how many you have, you're still gonna have the same amount of power. It's like a Ouija board. You can have a Parker Brothers a Ouija board,
Uh-huh.
which I have one and I won't touch it because there's an attachment to it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And it was bought for me, so I won't get rid of it.
Okay.
But if you make one, it's a stronger board because it's your energy in the board.
That makes sense.
Yes. So I'm thinking about making my own board.
All right.
I don't like my board. I have a St. Michael sitting on top of that board.
So what's attached to that?
A mean man. He is awful. We used it once and it did not show favor. It did not show favor at all. It scared my daughter-in-law. And the guy who was asking questions, he freaked the fuck out and left.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably haunted because he didn't say goodbye to the board. He just left.
You know, I have learned even saying goodbye to the board is not sufficient enough.
You got to do like
You
a St. Michael's prayer or Archangel Michael's
No.
prayer, and you got to do sage, and then you got to do
Yes.
other prayers
You're
to
supposed to
Odin.
use sage and you're supposed to say it proper. And you sage and say, you cannot follow me. You cannot come out of the board. You can't do that. And for the longest, I've been using a Ouija board since 14 years old. I always thought saying goodbye was sufficient enough.
Well, now everybody knows. Well, everybody that listens to this will know that goodbye isn't always enough. So,
and it doesn't, because I opened a vortex in the house that I had for 15 years.
No shit. What was that like?
That was chaos.
Was that all the pushing down the stairs and stuff? Was that where that took place?
And it was right in front of that basement.
Cheese and rice, ma'am.
Yeah. Holy Jeebus. It was bad. It was right in front of my bedroom door too.
Oh man. So you didn't get much sleep in those 15 years then?
Nope, not at all. It was awful. Yep, there was a vortex left open.
Did you ever have to have like people come in to like try and help clean the house or anything
I had
like that?
one team come in. Oh, it's your light fixtures. They're not correct. And it's this and it's that. They debunked everything they said. I'm like, sure, okay. I've never slept locked before, and now I am, and it's my light fixtures.
Uh-huh. Explain these bruises. I don't
Yes,
get these
exactly.
bruises from a light. I don't get pushed down the stairs because the wiring to my light fixture is incorrect.
It was mad crazy. But even in this house, I mean, this house is nothing like that house, but I'm sure give it time and it would be. But I'm not going to be here that long. 3 more weeks and we're gone.
Perfect. And you're going somewhere else in Florida?
About 15 minutes away from here. But the house was built in 1965 again.
And you can't get away from those 1965 houses.
No, I cannot. And that one also has a spirit in it already. But it's a very chill one.
Oh, that's good. Well, hopefully it doesn't bring any friends later on. Like wait until you be like, hey, I'm chill. I'm cool as fuck. I'm cool AF. Why don't you come move in? All right, we've been living here for 3 months. Oh, here come my friends.
Right? But I'm gonna sage that one. I sage every house, and I'm gonna put crystals on all 4 corners of the property to keep it down.
So the house that I live in was built in 1940, and I've been seeing shadow figures, but I saged and whatnot, and I hadn't seen any. And then I recently, just maybe like 2 weeks now, encountered probably the scariest shadow figure in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, it was like it was a Sunday night into Monday, and it looked like it was coming for me. And I was like, "What the fuck?" I've never seen them move before, so I don't know if it was like a traditional shadow figure or if it was something disguising itself. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Right,
like because I've experienced shadow people since I was 9 years old, and all they ever do is stand there and they don't move. They're either in a corner or they're leaned up against something or they're just like in a doorway with like half their face or maybe their whole head or half their body just kind of like just standing there watching.
right,
They're basically just watchers is what shadow people are in my opinion. Just based off my experiences. So like the shadow people that I was experiencing before I saged, I was not even scared of them. Like I would see them and I'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" You know what I mean? And then I had Farah from the conversation cabin on, and she was uh using her pendulum and asking it questions, and her pendulum answered her question of if um the shadow people in my house had a negative or wished me harm or something. I can't remember the exact question, but they didn't have good intentions, is I think was the question. So I did the sage and whatnot, and then I hadn't seen them for it's been like months now, and then just randomly this one in my bedroom, like they've never been inside my bedroom before, so this one, and it was coming towards my bed, and I had like this like quick paralysis moment where I couldn't
right.
move as it's coming towards me, and I'm just like motherfucker, get the fuck, come on, you gotta move. And then I reached because my phone is right there on my bed right next to me, so when the alarm goes off, it's right there. I can just click it off and get up. But I finally I just broke out of it and I grabbed my phone and I fucking lit up my room and there was nothing there. So that
That is
was,
creepy.
yeah, it was super creepy. I haven't experienced it. I haven't seen anything since, but since I talk about it, since I'm talking about it right now, there's a good chance that I might. So hopefully I don't. So I'll have to do something about that.
Yeah, you might want to because I saw it earlier.
You saw what in my house?
Yeah, it was behind you earlier. I'm like, no, I'm not seeing what I see.
Okay.
Because it's like, you know where you have your stay, where the ST is?
Yeah.
It was right there.
I'll have to watch the video. Do you recall when? Or was it like wicked early?
I would say maybe halfway.
Okay. All right. Let's see if it shows up on the recording.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Yeah,
they
because I
don't.
was like,
Sometimes you can't see them through the lenses. Like you can see them in real time, but once it's like record, I don't know. It's weird. It's
no,
fucking
cameras pick up strange things.
yeah.
It's like with David, he had this one video,
Hmm.
and I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be right. Because in the viewfinder, this guy's, I think he was in a paver or something. It look you could see like a body, but when he looked behind him, you couldn't see the body.
Huh.
And I'm like, cameras don't lie. Only people do. And it's not like he could have got out right quick and put that body line there.
No, no. That's
There was no
interesting.
way. Yeah. So, but yeah, go back and roll it back and check it. But as I was like, I felt it and I was like, wait a second.
Huh. All right. Do you so can you like I don't know, like remote view at all?
I have in the past, and it's when it hits me that it hits me.
Yeah. It was just like a random.
They're random things that come to
Yeah.
my head.
Okay.
But
All
but
right.
yeah, that was crazy. I know I just told a friend of mine too before we came on. I'm like, please don't let me see anything. I'm like, I don't want Kevin thinking I'm way off base.
No, I would never think that. So, do you have any other stories or?
I had one in my head. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Because it was now I remember. Okay. So I think I did tell David. Um last what is today? Today would be Tuesday. So last week, one day last week, my son was homesick, my 13-year-old. And I was here in my office. That's where we're at right now because my snakes are in here, my dragon and everything. And I it, where I'm sitting, I can see the living room and in the backyard. Well, I saw him walk from his general room through the living room and into the kitchen. Everything has to do around the kitchen area for some reason. And but the thing is, when I saw him do that, he was looking at me the entire time. His face was turned to the right, looking at me and not watching where he was going. And I was like, well, that was kind of creepy. And then I thought, wait a second, I didn't hear his door open and I didn't hear his door close. And I went in there, he was asleep.
So you saw a doppelganger.
And that's not the first time I've seen one either, because a long while back in Harrisburg, my now, how old is he now? 27-year-old, when he was 14, I got up at 3 o'clock to go get a drink. And then I was heading back to the bedroom where the vortex was. And I saw, you know how the TV screen will go black and white, that's snowy?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
the static.
Yes, that. So he's sitting there, fully clothed in his school clothes, with his glasses on, just staring at me, looking like static. And I'm half asleep. And I'm like, why are you up? And he's not answering me. I'm like, Cody, why are you up? And it clicked. I looked away and I looked back. He was gone. I'm like, okay, I'm
Wow.
going back to bed. Thank you very much. Good night.
Oh my
But
God, that's creepy.
yeah, and I got a creepier one. Yeah, my I think how old he is now. 23-year-old Joshua. He would get up in the middle of the night, take his bicycle, ride around the block, come home, and go back to bed. He would.
That's
And
fucking
then
hilarious.
I'm like, okay. And he would see a little girl dancing in the backyard,
Yeah.
and you could see her orb. It was red, and it would float all the way in the backyard, off the back deck.
Wow.
And there was this, you know how daylight savings time works up there? It's really pitch black.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Our street light was right in our front yard. He walked out our driveway and he come hauling ass in the house. I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? I see them. I'm like, who do you see? There's nobody out there. I can't go to school, Mom. I can't do it. I can't go to school. I cannot do it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, kid? There's nobody out there. The people, they're bloody. They're all blood. They're all blood. They're all blood all over the road. There's so many. I can't go to school. I thought he was having a nervous breakdown. So I went up there. I couldn't see them and I couldn't see them. And I'm like, there's nobody out there, Josh. Mom, they're all over the road and they're blood. All on their face, they're blood. I'm like, okay, stay home. And it never happened again. I've never seen so much pure, sheer terror on a kid's face.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what that was all about.
I don't know. But I mean, all my boys, All my boys can do that.
Just see something.
Yeah,
Maybe?
even my 13-year-old now comes out of his room about, oh gods, at least 6 times a day. Mom, did you call me? No. What did you want, Mom? Didn't talk. Did you call my name? No, because we have mimickers.
Yes. Those ones I don't like.
Me either.
That can they can lure you into some hairy situations.
Aren't those the ones that like scream from the woods?
Yeah. Yeah, and supposedly if you answer it like in your house, and so like your son comes to you and asks you if you call them instead of answering the calling, if he is to answer it, supposedly that has bad incantations.
Really? See, you are the first one to ever give me a straight answer about a mimicker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's stories that I've heard um through for a long time now. Like you hear Jen from 305 Paranormal talks about it. Like her mother used to say, if you hear my voice calling your name, don't answer it. Just come find me to make sure that I
No,
was calling for you, or don't like, because supposedly there's some negative things, like it'll attach to you if you answer it or something like that.
yeah, that's what he does. He comes to me. Now, see, I didn't know that. And usually I will yell out, yes, what do you want? Or like my one son, the landscaper, he fell off a ladder with the chainsaw following him. And I heard him scream, and I texted him. I'm like, what did you do? What was the accident? And he's like, how did you know? I said, you're my kid. I heard you yell. And he didn't even tell me about it. I already heard him.
Huh. And he wasn't anywhere nearby.
Nope. And I heard him right beside me.
Huh. That's interesting. That's different than a mimicker, I feel like.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel
it
I
is.
feel
But
like that's like your intuition.
with my 13-year-old, I can hear him talk to me clear across the other side of the house, like he's right next to me. And I'll answer him without even thinking. Like, okay, what'd you want, Max? Mom, I didn't call you. Yes, you did. You were in the dining room. No, I've been in my room.
Huh.
And that happens between me and him all the time.
Huh. That is interesting. I don't know what to put to that. So,
And it makes me wonder, oh, I did forget about all that. See, I told you I have a million stories. Because when he was a baby, when my youngest was a baby, um, I would sleep on the couch next to his bassinet.
uh-huh.
He would wake up screaming, and the blanket would be tucked under his head, under his shoulders, and around his head.
Oh.
And it wasn't me.
Uh-huh.
And I would have to pull everything off of him. And he would have night terrors in that house up north. He doesn't have them here at all.
Huh.
Yeah, so even he had experiences there.
Wow. That's crazy. That I mean, the further up north into the east you go, in America, the older things are.
True.
Um, so like I mean, I literally was in when I was in Arizona, I saw towns that were established in um like 1960s and 1970s, and I'm like, every town in this area up in New England is like 16 something. you know.
Right.
So I don't know. It's old up here, so I feel like there's more stagnant energy. But
Right.
I mean, in
Well, when you make your
Pennsylvania falls into that. So
when you make your trip down here, write this down because you'll forget it, Kevin.
okay, hold on, let me get my paper. All right, what do I gotta write down?
You're gonna write down the town of Casadega.
Okay,
You need to go there. It's a spiritual town.
okay, Casadega,
It's our
Florida.
only town that we have like that.
All right, well, I will look into it, ma'am.
You'll love it.
All right, so um if you have any other stories, I can have you come back on.
Okay.
I think we're about at an hour and a half, so I think that's good for today. If you want to plug your socials or whatever, for if you want people to follow you or whatever, you're more than welcome to go to do that.
My Instagram is Angel Hinman, ANGELHINMAN, and that's my main one. So if anybody wants to get me, you can reach me there. My email is feather_waterfire@yahoo.com.
Nice, nice. So, if you guys are interested, you can go follow her on Instagram if you want to chat with her, discuss possibly if you're getting into your witchiness and you're just a little baby witch, maybe she might have some pointers to give you. Um, so obviously, if you've listened to this entire episode, you can clearly tell that she is a conversationalist and she is nice as pie, I would say. So please, if you have any questions that she might be able to answer, don't hesitate to ask her. But with that, if you're interested in being on the show, you know where to get me. It's where the weird ones are at gmail.com, where _ the weird ones are on IG, Facebook, where the weird ones are. And don't forget to check out the etsy.com/shop/where the weird ones are. Check out my shit, maybe buy some shit. Totally up to you. Also, like, subscribe, share, and follow. Possibly leave a review. If you don't share the show, how is it going to grow? So, with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed Angel Stories. I'm definitely going to have her come back on and tell some more because I feel like there is more. And yeah, so with that, have a good day, have a good night whenever you listen to this, and stay weird. Yo, you like crystals? Do you like healing crystals? Do you like candles? Are you into energy healing and cleansing your mind, body, and soul? Bro, head on over to etsy.com/shop/heal with Christina. You won't be disappointed. I promise you. She's got amazing, amazing handcrafted crystals, custom made, some of them. So you should definitely check her out. She's an amazing person. She's an amazing friend. All she wants to do is help people. She wants to heal people. And she's just here, just shining her light. And it's fucking bright. It's a bright ass light. So, again, if you're into healing crystals and whatnot, you're spiritual, you got to go check her store out. Again, that's etsy.com/shop/heal with Christina. Upon checkout, enter the coupon code WEIRD125. You get 25% off. So please show her some love and check her out. She goes by Heal with Christina on Instagram, so you can connect with her there too. So yeah, check it out.
This concludes our broadcast day. click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish.